Hi, I'm Jim. I'm a narcissist. I have narcissistic personality disorder. Making these videos just to kind of give you my opinion, my perspective, maybe some situational analysis, things like that, of what it's like to have this disorder, of, again, my opinion on some things. Very important to point out, I am not a licensed professional anything. I'm an auditor. But what I am is a person that does have this disorder, so that does give me a unique perspective because only 1.2% of the population is diagnosed with this disorder. So, and I kind of just make the videos in case anybody feels like they could gain information from it. And, I try to do different topics. Today's topic is going to be an interesting one. So, I'm on a journey of betterment and emotional wellness, right? For me, it's a journey I plan to be on for the rest of my life. I have come to terms with if I live 100 years, on my deathbed at that time, every day between now and then, I will spend, of course, trying to battle the challenges of my disorder. And on my deathbed, I will also try to battle those challenges because there is no cure for this, and I don't believe there's really ever going to be. It's truly going to be something that if you are a narcissist and you have narcissistic personality disorder, that you have to make the conscious effort to not just acknowledge that you have the disorder, but be willing to be accepting of working with a therapist, and you have to truly desire and want change, and be open to the experiences that they're offering you and the information that they're giving you. I don't think that's ever going to change. I don't think there's ever going to be a situation where they just give you a magic pill. There's never going to be a Hollywood moment, like Good Will Hunting. Remember Matt and Robin? It's not your fault. Steps a little closer. It's not your fault, son. It's not your fault. They hug and everything's fine. That's not how it works, right? That's not reality. Reality is, you got to bust your ass. And it comes from intense desire for change. You got to want your future to be better than your past. You got to commit to it. And if you think, hey, I'll spend a couple of weeks, I'll work my butt off, and the rest of my life will be amazing, and I never have to pay attention to it again. That's not how this works. It's every day for the rest of your life, every second of every day, right? That's the commitment I'm making. So part of what I do also is I don't just put everything on my therapist. I kind of try to do some research on my own, and I try to find new information as it surfaces. And I recently read a book, and I was not happy with the information that I got in it. I don't want to say it was contradictory, but it was it was not paralleling to what I believe. I don't think it was productive. I thought it could have potentially even have been dangerous. And I'm going to share what my opinions are on it. So, talked about how if you're in a relationship with a narcissist, well, let me first tell you, if you are in a relationship and you believe the other person is a narcissist, or you're in a relationship and you know the other person is a narcissist, right? The overwhelming belief in the therapeutic community is to leave that relationship immediately, cease all communication, don't allow them back in, right? If you're in a relationship with a narcissist, they are emotionally abusing you. They may, and this isn't they might be doing one of these four. If you're in a relationship with a narcissist, they are emotionally abusing you. That's non-negotiable. That's the core foundation. They may also be sexually abusing you, physically abusing you, and possibly financially abusing you. So you're at least being emotionally abused, and you're possibly being physically, financially, and sexually. So there's at least one. The emotional abuse, there's possibly 2, 3, or 4, right? So for safety is why the general consensus is to get out of the relationship, to stop the abuse. And of course, the general consensus is to cease all communication. So that way you don't put yourself in an unsafe situation, because what we do as narcissists is we draw you back. We fake future. We hoover, we honeymoon, right? Oh, it's going to be just like it was before. I'm not going to do that anymore. The honeymoon phase, right? That's what we do. We manipulate, and we drag you back in, and we abuse you again. And then that's why you have it's for your safety. So the book talked about that if you're in a relationship with a narcissist, you have 3 options. Okay. You can get out of the relationship. You can stay in the relationship, kind of forever, or you can stay in the relationship with the end result of eventually getting out of the relationship. So let me walk through the 3 different options that this book talks about, and I would like to break them down and tell you why I don't agree with all of the options, right? That I wouldn't recommend these. Ultimately, you have to make your own choices, but, when those choices are dangerous and unsafe, right, you need to question why you're making unsafe and dangerous choices, right? Okay, so first, get out of the relationship. Well, we already talked about that. That's my recommendation. That's my opinion. I'm a narcissist. I've been in relationships with these people, right? That are victims. I've been the abuser, right? I've seen what it does. I'm on a path of wellness and betterment, and I'm still telling you that is what you need to do, right? That's what you need to do. That's my recommendation. Nothing's gonna change my mind on that. It's just not gonna happen. Okay, so let's go to stay in the relationship, as you move towards getting out of the relationship. It's just the basic, why put off tomorrow what you could do today? For me, as a narcissist, I don't understand, and I have a food addiction. Why I would say, hey, I'll quit tomorrow, let me just binge today. That just, I understand that you may consider yourself to be in a situation where, I'll stay in this relationship for 6 months, I'll save money, and then I'll get out. You don't know what's going to happen in those 6 months. All you know is you are being emotionally abused, right? And possibly physically, sexually, and financially. But you are definitely being emotionally abused. You know you don't like the way you're being treated. You know you do not like the situation. How do we know that? Because you're thinking about leaving, right? So we know you're cognitive of the danger, that your safety is at risk. And saying, hey, let me build towards this, let me work towards that, there's too much chance that something's going to happen and you're not going to pull that trigger, when that time comes, if that time comes. Also, we don't know what's going to happen in between now and then, right? your car breaks down, and next thing you know, you're using your build-up money to move out, to fix the car. There are too many resources to make any kind of excuse why you can't leave today, period. And let's parallel someone that's, because this may be you. You may be getting physically abused. And in that time, in that 6 months, something may happen that you know what I'm saying. They might hurt you beyond repair. And even if it doesn't end your life, they are traumatizing you every day. I traumatize people every day. I look back in those relationships, and oh my God, I wouldn't have wanted them to spend another day to potentially be the worst trauma you've experienced in your life. Another day of more gaslighting? No, don't put yourself through that. There are too many resources to have any excuse to not leave. If you're being physically abused, it's not going to stop. If you're being physically abused, you're putting your safety at risk, right? That the worst abuse you've ever had in your entire life, your worst beating, is going to happen in between now and when you think you're leaving. don't put yourself in that situation. I mean, and maybe you're not being physically abused. You're being emotionally abused. Maybe you're not being sexually abused. You're being emotionally abused. And the trauma that causes, don't put yourself through that. I do not support that decision. I do not advise. I do not. I mean, I would not recommend that to anybody at all, in any way, shape, or form. There are too many resources to try to come up with any excuse why you cannot leave that situation immediately. There is no scenario. There is no scenario that I'm aware of. I mean, I'm not a licensed anything. I'm only giving you my opinion. So that's the second one. But we have to acknowledge, is that an option? Yeah. You know, just like if I'm driving home, is it an option to ride off the road and end my life? Oh God, yeah. I have to acknowledge that I could choose to do that. Right? I don't recommend that, but I could choose to do that. I was not a fan of the book, if you can't tell. It's stirring up some stuff. All right, so let's go to the third. So the third is to never leave. And in order to do that, it talks about you need to be accepting of the situation and what the future is going to be like. So what you would say is, I am in a relationship with a narcissist. I'm in a relationship with someone that has narcissistic personality disorder. And they at least emotionally abuse me. I am accepting and I'm willing to accept that emotional abuse for the rest of my life. Maybe they're sexually abusing me as well, physically, financially, and I'm willing to accept all of that for the rest of my life. Here's where I think the book let me down. And I think there's a natural progression for a narcissist and a narcissistic relationship to stay at lower danger levels. And when I say lower, I mean, all right, this is gonna be hard to explain. So okay. So when you're in a relationship with a narcissist, someone that has narcissistic personality disorder, if you do not commit to accepting that you're going to be with them forever, right, and you're going to accept that that's your future, right, what's going to happen is every so often, that narcissist, the relationship is beautiful. It's up here. I'm sorry, going to the wrong. It's beautiful. It's amazing. They're honeymooning. They're hoovering. They're glory hounding. Man, you know, it's amazing, right? They're gaslighting. You don't even realize it. They're manipulating. You don't realize it. But that relationship's up here. Things are awesome. They're amazing. But then that narcissist starts coming out more and more, right? Now that things are getting worse and worse, right? But they get down to like, and things start getting bad. Get down here. What do you do in that relationship? You're like, you know what? I'm fed up. I'm done. I am out of here. Deuces. See ya. Right? What does the narcissist do? Well, they go back to trying to honeymoon, fake future you, right? Hoover, right? It's gonna be just like, it's gonna be just like it was back in the beginning. I'm awesome. I'm amazing. I'm never gonna do those things to you again. You take them back. Does that relationship go back down to the bottom where it was bad and really dangerous? No, they're back in the honeymoon phase, right? So that narcissist and how mean and how intense and how dangerous they are gets lower slowly, right? And lower is bad. It's getting to more dangerous levels, right? Up here is high. This is the man. He's honeymooning me and I love life. So he doesn't go completely back to the way he was, right? Overnight. It's a slow progression. What I'm saying is when you are accepting that that's your future, you're telling the narcissist, you don't ever have to go here again, because there is no threat of me ever leaving you. I'm accepting of everything that you do, and it's going to be bad. It's not going to be bad. It's going to be a lot worse than it ever would have been, because he doesn't need to slowly go down to those bad stages. He just keeps going, and it's never going to stop. Let me give you an example. Okay, so let's take somebody that cheats on you, right? So we're in a relationship, and hey, we're in love, and you start to, what's going on? I'm getting some weird smells on. I'm sorry, I laughed. I've heard that people will make their significant other pull their pants down so they can smell genitalia to see if they were getting freaky. That cracks me up. That's hilarious. I'm not a cheater, so I mean, just something I don't do, never do, just not my cup of tea, right? So that cracks me up, man. I would love it if anybody was like, "Hey, can I smell your junk?" I'd be like, "Yeah, you guys know I'm a jogger." I'm like, "Yeah, I just hiked or I jogged." I was like, "You get a good whiff of what's down there right now." That thing stank, right? And it ain't stinking like somebody else's genitals. It's stinking like, man, I went out there running and I've been sweating. But, I mean, am I going out and beeping 20 girls on day one? No, right? Oh, I find one and I'm like, yeah, maybe I'll, and I'm real cautious because I want to keep that girl. Even though I'm cheating on her, I want to keep that girl. But then one becomes two as time goes on, two becomes three becomes four, man, right? But then she finds out, right? Just like we talked about that narcissistic relationship, it's getting worse and worse and worse, right? It goes from I'm not cheating at all to now I'm cheating with like 4 or 5 girls. She catches me, I'm leaving. I'm like, oh, no, baby, come on. Hey, look at this. Let me give you my phone. Delete whatever you want in my phone, right? Let me show you my bank account. Find out if I got any burner phones, right? What you want to do to make sure it all goes away. Bring you back to my honeymoon phase. What's going to happen? Well, eventually, after the honeymoon phase, I'm going to start cheating again. Slowly, more and more. Well, imagine you say to me, Jim, I love you so much. If you cheated on me, I wouldn't care. I'd stay with you no matter what. And I'm willing to accept that you're a cheater. I'm off 50 women tomorrow, right? Forget that 4 or 5 that I slowly went to. It's going to be game on. I mean, at that point, can I have your mama number? Right? Come on. Let's take me to the family reunion. Let's see how many digits I can get from aunts and uncles. I mean, come on. I'll go bisexual. I'll have sex with everybody in your family. I mean, because I got no respect, no caring for anything, because you've already told me no matter what I do, you're not leaving me. So I'm a cheater, right? I'm going to just F everybody's brains out that'll let me. Now, again, I don't cheat. I don't like it, right? I don't feel good. I've only ever cheated on one girlfriend in my life. Still feel sick to my stomach, haven't done it. Didn't like it, right? And I mean, that was like a long time ago. I mean, we're talking like 30 years ago, right? And you see the correlation I'm making? You can't do that to a narcissist. You tell me, hey, I'm willing to accept your behavior. I am willing to accept a future with you as a narcissist. And you don't even have to tell me, right? You just got to let me slowly keep getting worse and worse and worse. And when it gets to a point where you should be breaking up with me, and slinging me back, and that doesn't happen, I'm going to keep going further. I'm a narcissist. That's what I do. I mean, you don't know the danger that you're bringing on yourself. I think that is, hey, like I said, everybody got to make their own choices. There are options, right? I guess at the end of the day, like, I have an option. I can go tell my boss that they're an effing whatever in front of all the employees. I'm going to get fired, but that's an option. I could do it. It's extremely dangerous behavior, but I could do it. That's what I'm saying here. Like, I read this book and I'm like, oh, no. Like, that's this really, really dangerous behavior. And please, if you think you're in a relationship with someone that's a narcissist, or they're a narcissist and they have narcissistic personality disorder, please, go see a therapist, right? Talk this over with them. All right, do not make this decision on your own. And ultimately, you're the one that controls your life and your decisions. Nobody's going to be able to stop you from doing what you want to do. Like, you want to put yourself in that dangerous behavior. Nobody's going to stop you, right? I own a motorcycle. I ride it with shorts and a t-shirt. Nobody's going to stop me from doing that. You can tell me that if I get in an accident, I'll probably die. That all my beautiful tattoos are going to be road rash. You can tell me whatever you want, right? But ultimately, I control that decision. I do it. I'm going to make that choice. If I want to engage in that dangerous behavior, I will do what I choose to do. And I think that's the same thing here, right? I'm just saying, before you make that decision, please see someone professional that can really offer an insight and an opinion, right? That is motivated in the field, that could hopefully give you a different perspective. That would be my advice. And hey, I am not for book burning at all, but man, I'd burn that book. I tell you what, I'd eradicate that thing from the face of the earth. I'm a narcissist thinking, man, you can't be empowering narcissists, like that. That's just dangerous behavior. That's just that's a terrible idea. That's a terrible idea. I'm having a hard time. I'm having a hard time with that. I've hurt too many people in my life. Let my disorder run my life. And I just don't see. It sounds like a very there's always other options, and I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. So, I'm gonna take a couple minutes, because I'm a little high strung. It gets under my skin a little bit. I gotta be honest with you. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop out some positivity. I gotta be honest with you guys. I'm on cloud 9. Forget cloud 9. I'm like cloud 900. And I gotta tell you, life, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. Last week, walking to the Publix, bumping my tunes and my beats in the ear, walking to the sidewalk, just dancing, loving life, loving every bit of it. Man, finding myself in the Wrangler, top off, doors off, sticking my feet out the window, shaking them and just singing at the top of my lungs. I am loving life. I am loving life in a way I can't even describe. If you've watched any of these other videos at that point, ask me if I'm over that girl. Oh God, no. I'm not even close. Never will be. Never getting over that girl. Never. But you know what? That talking while I'm jogging, that stuff's working. And it's working well. Man, I'm so happy for her. I am. Man, I love knowing that girl is happy. It makes me happy. And yeah. And I've come to terms with there's no scenario where we ever reconcile in this life, ever, in any way, shape, or form. And I've come to terms with that, and that's okay, right? And I have come to terms with I choose to be alone right now, right? And for the first time in my life, I'm not just comfortable. I'm happy. I'm happy at just being me. I genuinely, sincerely am. And I gotta tell you, it is magnetic, right? I am in no way, shape, or form looking for any kind of relationship at all. And you would be amazed. Like, I don't know if they pick up on it or what, but I found myself at my local dive bar, sitting, kind of close to where the dance floor is, by myself, because that's what I do. I don't sit at home, right? I go out by myself and enjoying the 80s cover band, loving life by myself. And I tell you, I had a couple of girls come over and grab me and be like, "Oh, come dance with us." That kind of stuff doesn't happen to me, right? That kind of stuff doesn't happen to me. And I've shared before, like, I'm a demisexual. I have to have really deep emotions for somebody before I can have sex with them, right? I don't do one night stands. I don't. So at no point was there any scenario I was going to have sex or leave with any of these girls. And I told you, and I'm not at a point where I want to be in a relationship with anybody. I'm not there in my journey, right? I want to make sure that I have a strong hold on this disorder before I put somebody's safety at risk. And that's exactly what I'm going to be doing when I enter a relationship. I'll be putting somebody's safety at risk. But like I said, I was there, and I would have gone the whole night and not talked to anybody, right? I would have just done my little bit of dancing over there by myself, drinking on my sugar, my no sugar freaking energy drink, and just bumping life, man, right? Loving every bit of it. But yeah, it's like, I don't know, like, they pick up on it, and that's not the only one. I'll share. Been joining like some groups on like Meetup, not for like singles or anything, just for some commonality in my hobbies. So I got all kinds of hobbies. You should. If you've watched any of these, you know them. I like to jog. I love to hike. Oh man, I love music, right? And so I'm just trying to get join some Meetup groups to see if find like-minded people. Like I said, I'm nothing for singles, because I don't want to give anybody the wrong impression. That's not part of my journey right now. That's not what I'm looking for. And like I said, you can't make this stuff up. I don't know if they're just picking up on just how happy I am in my life. And and somebody was like, "Hey, dude, yeah, how you doing?" And I'm like, "Really?" Yeah, and I gotta tell you, and it not just once, been a couple, right? Been a couple, and even to the point like one, it kind of, and I was like, I'm just made the conscious decision that's not something I'm pursuing at this time. Flattered, thank you, right? Yada yada yada. Got a little bit of a push, like, oh, I'd be willing to work on it, and did. And man, I had to break out the guns. Be like, honestly and sincerely, I've been diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder. At this point, I've only been diagnosed, for a short period of time. I'm not comfortable entering a relationship because I still think I could potentially be a danger to emotionally abuse somebody. That's the answer. That's what you get. That was, yeah. I was like, yeah. Didn't get pushed off of that one. That'll stop a pursuit dead in its tracks. But hey, man, life's good. Life's amazing. And this journey's going well. It is. I'm feeling better than I ever have in my entire life, which is crazy, because I find myself sitting back saying, "Jim, how are you saying that you are more in love with where your life is right now without that girl?" And here's the thing, man, that girl, right? But, and she made me feel things like I never felt. But this is different, right? She made me feel things about being in a relationship with her that I never felt. This makes me feel things about being alive, about my life, about my future, about who I am, that I've never felt. It's just completely different. Like, I felt things about being in love with her that I've never felt. This is about, I'm feeling things about being in love with myself and my life that I've never felt. Yeah. And, man, yeah, I tell you what, if there's ever a way for that girl and this to be combined, dear Lord, oh man. But hey, that's not part of her journey, right? And I'm happy for her. I am. I know I say it over and over again, but I have found a way to truly appreciate and be happy that she's on this planet and she's happy, and I'm not a part of that. And like I said, I mean, as human beings, I don't think we can ever get to 100%. Like, there's always going to be something in there. We're human, right? But I tell you, I'm at like a 95, maybe a 97. I think I'm going to get to a 99% one day. I do. I think I'm going to be maybe a 99.9999%. I believe it's there. I think it's possible. Like, we can never get to 100%, but but it's, yeah, just knowing that she's in the world and her life is good is amazing. And again, could not be happy, genuinely happy for her, right? Genuinely, yeah. So that's a little peek behind what's going on with me right now. Yeah, had to share because this was intense. That book really upset me. It took me to a dark place. It, I'm not happy with with some of the thoughts and the emotions that it stirred in me. But I hope if you have narcissistic personality disorder, I hope you can find a way to get to where I am. I mean, just about the inner peace. I mean, the survivor's guilt. There's so many other things, And it's going good right now. It's going really good. And the future's looking amazing. It is. It's awesome. It's a wild journey. And yeah. And you know what? Here's the thing. It's not gonna be the rest of my life. Now stuff's gonna go sideways. Come on, it's life. It's gonna hit you, right? Stuff's gonna go. It's just how it works. Stuff's gonna go sideways. But man, I'll be ready for it. I'll be ready to tackle that too. Just complete different mindset. My future is gonna be better than my past because I'm gonna make it, right? I'm gonna make my future better than my past. I'm not gonna let that disorder run my life like I did before. I know what it is. I know what I am, right? I know what it wants me to do. I know its secrets. I know its weaknesses. You know what? That fucking disorder didn't know about me. It didn't know that I'm a badass mother. And I will fuck that thing up, right? It had no idea the lengths that I was willing to go to get my emotional wellness. It had no clue. It wasn't ready. It had the reins on me. It ran my life for years and years and years. And it didn't know that once I discovered that thing was real, that it existed, that I was gonna light that mother up and turn 180, right? Put that thing, like I talk about, used to sit on my shoulder screaming in my ear. I grabbed that thing, I crumbled that up. It's gonna be with me the rest of my life. I can't throw it away. I can't. It's gotta be with me. I can't get rid of it. I'm putting that thing underneath my foot. And every step I take, I stomp on that thing. And I don't let it climb up my leg back on the shoulder, right? I keep it underneath my foot. And every time I take a step, I pound that thing into the ground. Yeah, it had no idea what it was up against. All right. Again, I hope these videos are helpful. And if anybody ever feels like there's anything I can do in any way, shape, or form, don't hesitate to reach out to me. If you want my cell phone number, want to call me, You know what I mean? If there's an emergency, you know, and you feel like I can help in any way, shape, or form, you know, lay it on me. I mean, you know, I am more than willing and more than happy, you know.